Before you decide to judge me, or you know, ask questions about my bank account, just remember which one of us has the full-time job here. What up, book lovers? It is G-Swizz here, and I got a fat stack of books to haul. Yes, you guys can see the title of the video. I have 100+ books. Technically 101. I put off making my book haul for a very long time, but also I have only recently started collecting manga, and so has Camillo, and so we've accumulated some manga series for ourselves. I can't fully pin it on Camillo because it's actually mostly been me, but one of the ways that I justify this is remembering that I'm adding to our collection. I'm gonna haul these 101 books today, and what I'm gonna try to do as I go along is put them back on the shelves, because I've already done the thumbnail and I've already stacked them on the floor. Let's see if I can put them back as we go, because it took a while to take off and stack. It's gonna take even longer to put back. The first one I have to show you is a big monster. That, my friends, is Berserk Deluxe Volume 5. Guys, I cannot believe I'm holding this in August because every website that I saw said that this was gonna be published in September. And then Camillo and I went to Kinokuniya one day, and Berserk Volume 5, the deluxe edition, were on the shelves. We're like, what? No way! So we had to buy them. We got in quick because the stock ran out so quickly, because this series is very loved, and every Berserk fan who are collecting these editions are anxiously waiting for each of the volumes. And the cool thing is, Volume 6 of the deluxe edition is coming out this year, when it was expected to come out in February of next year. And I'm really excited because then, you know, we can continue on with our collection as if we are collecting encyclopedias in our shed, because that's what my mom did. The next lot of books I will show you are volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Land of the Lustrous, and this is a manga series that Camillo and I are collecting together. We're very excited about it. We both really love the anime adaptation. It just is glorious. But the problem with the anime at the moment is that there are only 12 episodes and it leaves kind of on a cliffhanger. And of course, there's a new chapter to be seen. And so we want to get into the manga series because we don't want to have to wait till 2021, who knows, potentially 2022, for the next chapter to come out. Another manga series that I started collecting after watching the anime with Camillo is a series that I have fallen in love with. Like, I love this series because of its themes, its allegory. It's just so fascinating. And yes, it will probably make me a furry, but I don't care. It's Beastars. If you have not watched the Netflix adaptation yet, if you are skeptical like I was, do it. Please, just watch it. Make up your mind from there. I loved it. I mean, there are only around 7 volumes of this in the English translation so far. But right now, I'm just holding the 5. And another manga series that I absolutely love, that I purchased pretty much all the volumes that are out currently, is Demon Slayer. Right here, I have volumes 1 to 15 of Demon Slayer. And yes, guys, I have started this one. I've read 6 out of the 15, which means I've essentially finished season 1 of the anime adaptation storyline. Like, I'm really excited for where the plot's gonna go. I mean, that's obviously why I bought Demon Slayer, because I want to see how far it goes, and I don't want to have to wait till years later till we get the adaptation of like the next season or the movie. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the movie. I need to catch up and I need to read more of that. And yet another anime adaptation that I loved so much, I collected the first 15 volumes of the series. That is The Promised Neverland, and out of all of these so far, I've read the first one. That's a promising start. Just like Demon Slayer, I loved the adaptation, and I saw all of these on sale, so I couldn't pass them up. And similar with Demon Slayer, I got like a bunch of those on sale too. So when I really think about it, it was a good investment in the long run, not having to worry about spending more money later on down the line if I was gonna grab like volume by volume. I just decided to bulk buy at a discounted rate. I'm very much looking forward to reading The Promised Neverland. The next lot I have to haul are the famous Death Note Black Edition. These are volumes 1 to 12 of Death Note. I want to read them all this year. Don't ask me why. I just want to do it. And once again, like the previous manga I mentioned, love the adaptation. It was one of my first favorite animes ever. So yeah, I had to justify buying special editions of the manga. I promise this whole book haul is not going to be manga. Trust me. But I still got a fair chunk of manga to get through. And this fair chunk is another stack. These are volumes 1 to 14 in bind-ups of Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is one of the best anime series that I watched this year. And I know people have conflicting feelings about Neon Genesis Evangelion, but I don't think I've ever been so addicted to a TV show / series in general, but also so blown away. I've read read 2 out of the 5 of these bind-ups so far. Really excited to continue on with the series. And I actually just found out yesterday that Neon Genesis Evangelion got finished in 2015. So the ending to the anime is different to the ending in the manga. I'm very much curious to see what that difference is. The next set of manga that I have to haul pretty much started my manga buying habit of this haul. And that, my friends, is volumes 1 to 10 of the deluxe editions of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, The Stardust Crusaders. This is like everybody's favorite JoJo part. I'm still trying to decide which JoJo part's my favorite. I love aspects of this one. I love aspects of Battle Tendency as well, but I also really love aspects of Diamond is Unbreakable. And I purposefully told myself once I got my tax return, I was gonna buy these. And I did. I bought them after I got my tax return. So here they are. 2 more manga series and then we'll go on to the books. Next up we have bind-ups 1 to 3 of Vagabond. I've read bind-up 1, loved it. I'm pretty sure Camilo got halfway through bind-up 1. He loved it as well. I want to continue collecting this series because it's really good, but obviously I have to read the next 2. The final manga series that I have to include in this haul are the Full Metal Alchemist Full Metal editions from volumes 1 to 9. You must be wondering, gee Swizz, I've never really seen you mention Full Metal Alchemist. I don't even know if you've watched the anime. I've watched 4 episodes of the anime and I thought to myself, I kind of want to read the manga because as much as I was enjoying the anime, I kind of just want to experience it in manga firsthand. And then all of a sudden, I found out that these editions exist. I couldn't pass that up. I had to purchase them. So now we move on to the books. The first book that I'm going to mention out of the new stack is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. Now, at the very beginning of this year, I wasn't really motivated to read necessarily because I was literally in a reading slump. Like, nothing really motivated me to pick anything up. But what I did do at the very beginning of this year was go to GOODREADS and check out the anticipated releases for this year, and All the Stars and Teeth was one of them. And I saw it, I was like, you know what? I want to try that one out. I mean, first of all, the cover is stunning, and second of all, it sounds very intriguing to me. I finally bought it. I'm really excited to actually get to this one, finally. And the next book I have to haul is The Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. And from what I know, this is a Korean fantasy book or paranormal fantasy book. I don't know too much other than that, except a lot of my friends love it on BookTube. I also pre-ordered Vicious Spirits, and I just want to binge read the series because I hear a lot of good things about it, and it definitely does sound like something that I would absolutely love. So really excited to get to this series, and I'm happy to haul it. Some other books that I'm really excited to haul today are Arusha and the Song of Death and Arusha and the Tree of Wishes. These are books 2 and 3 in the Pandava Quartet. I'm just really excited to get to these ones. I remember reading The Star Touch Queen and absolutely being in love with it. The Star Touch Queen is definitely one of the most underrated fantasy books that I've ever read. It is really good, and I definitely want to read more from Roshani Chokshi. I've wanted to read this series for a while. I think it was the first ever Rick Riordan Presents series to become big on the imprint, or in fact I think the first one to kind of like debut on the imprint. So that was like really exciting. There are a lot more Rick Riordan Presents books that I really do want to pick up as well, but yeah, this one has always really intrigued me, so I'm really excited to get to the Pandava Quartet. And speaking of Rick Riordan Presents, I have another book that falls under that imprint, and that is the Storm Runner. And first of all, just like Arusha's covers in all of their glory, this cover is just beautiful. I know that this one has to do with Mayan mythology. I don't know too much about Mayan mythology, but just like Rick Riordan's books and just like any other good mythological book, I want to know more and I want to learn more from those books. So hopefully this will teach me a thing or two about Mayan mythology. The next 2 books I got to haul are from the same author, and that is Haruki Murakami. And recently I got The Strange Library and I got The Hard-Boiled Wonderland and The End of the World. And these books, from what I know, are vastly different from each other. I have read The Strange Library. I think I read it while I was vlogging. That was really exciting. If you want to check that out, check that out. It was a fun time doing that. Hard-Boiled Wonderland and The End of the World I have still not yet read, and I heard that it has to do with dimensions. If you know me, you know that when a dimension story is done very well, I love it. The next book I have to haul is Jade City by Fonda Lee. I read this one for the Term Topple Readathon. That's where my thoughts are for this book. I bought it so I could read it during Term Topple. The next 2 books that I've got to show you have lovely covers. They are 2 books from my new favorite author, and that is Julie Kagawa. And the books that I have are The Iron King and The Iron Daughter. These are the new editions of the Iron Fae series covers, or at least the first half of the series. I'm so happy that I have them. The problem with these series covers is that every 2 months a new one comes out in a new cover, and like I don't want to have to wait that long to collect the entire series, but hey, I guess publishers be making money that way. And another cover that I absolutely love for a spin-off series of the series that I have just started. The book I'm going to mention is Flamecaster by Cinda Williams is Chima. If you guys don't know, this is the first book in the Shattered Realms series, which is the spin-off quartet to the Seven Realms. And I started The Demon King before Tome Topple. I decided to read the 500-page book then and there, and I ended up really enjoying myself. And I've wanted to buy Flamecaster for a very long time because I'm obsessed with this cover. There's beef with this cover. People actually prefer the original emblem cover, and I just think to myself, that one was boring. The first series already had emblems on their covers anyway, and they were just like, okay. But when I saw this cover, I freaked out because I love it. It is so beautiful. Her hair is just flowing and it's gorgeous, and she's just a warrior, and it's just, oh, I love everything about the Flamecaster cover. This is one of my favorite covers ever. And I wanted to buy it for a very long time, but I told myself I will not start collecting this series until I've started reading the Seven Realms series. And so that's what I did. Oh my goodness, more books with pretty covers. Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. I had seen this book and this book cover go around book Twitter making rounds last year, and I never read it for myself. I just saw it and I had to buy it. And the next book I have to hold today is The Tyrant's Tomb by Rick Riordan. This is the second last book forever in the Trials of Apollo series by Rick Riordan. And I haven't read this book yet, and a lot of people have. I need to get onto it before I just spoil myself, because I have absolutely no idea what to expect in The Tyrant's Tomb, and I'm happy I have it. And the next two books I have to mention complete a trilogy, and those are Map of Fates and The Ends of the World, both by Maggie Hall. This book series, in hardback, from what I know, are out of print. I bought The Conspiracy of Us like literally 2 years ago for 40 bucks secondhand. And Map of Fates, this hardback, I got the final copy of a US retailer, and I'm so happy I did, because when I go on Amazon now, I see that the very cheapest price for Map of Fates is like 50 bucks. I still haven't read the series yet, but I'm at least happy that my series matches, because I started collecting them in hardback, and I'm happy that I was able to keep it that way. And the next book I have to hold falls under the beautiful category once again, because beautiful books, they just have my heart. Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. I'm so excited to read this one. I was going to put this one on my August TBR. I held it off for a little bit, and I definitely do want to get to this book in September, because I hear a lot of good things about it, and I also heard that there's a hate to love romance. That's what I eat up. That's what I love. So yes, sign me up. I'm there. Okay, so the next three books I have to hold have the same cover artist, because I'm trash. First of all, I'm going to mention Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee. I enjoyed this book. It has some mixed reviews, but I enjoyed it for the most part, and I'm excited to see where it goes next, because as much as I loved this book, it definitely did feel like an establishment to a great story. And yes, as much as I love this cover, it looks very creepy when you look at it in person. Like, she's intensively staring at you. Oh, I'm just getting jolts just thinking about it. The next Charlie Bowater cover book that I have to show you is one of my favorite books of the entire year, and that, my friends, is Bone Crier's Moon by Catherine Purdy. I love this book. It's not really just because of the cover and the hype and stuff. Like, this book is just purely good. I loved it. I talk about this one in my June and July wrap-up as well, so if you guys want to check that out and hear my thoughts on it, go for it. Beautiful book, beautiful story, beautiful friendship, beautiful ship. Oh no, my camera battery is running out. I guess it's time to change it. Alright, that's better. Let's keep talking. Final Charlie Bowater cover I have to show you guys is a book that I got in the mail the very beginning of this week. Star Daughter by Shveta Thakar. It's just glorious. Like, guys, I usually do not buy standalones. For some reason, I'm never usually inclined to. I always prefer series so that I can follow my characters for a longer time. I just like getting invested that way, but for some reason I just really wanted to read this book. Speaking of beautiful covers, well, not just beautiful covers, an amazing series, one of the best series that I have read in my entire life. I've got to present to you books 2 and 3 in the Daevabad trilogy. That is Kingdom of Copper and Empire Gold. I love this book series so much. I'm still thinking about it. I finished Empire Gold, I'd say last week from now as I'm filming this. It's just so good. It's so good. I loved it, and I would reread the series again in a heartbeat. I would. These editions of the Daevabad trilogy are my pride and joy. The next book I have to haul is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I've wanted to read this book ever since it came out. Like, I saw the cover and I'm like, oh my goodness, that looks good. I read the premise. Oh my goodness, that sounds good. I just felt like I really needed it, but for some reason I put off buying it for a very long time until very much recently. I'm happy that I finally purchased it. The next book I have to haul is a book that I received today, which I will include the unboxing of in my latest reading vlog, and that, my friends, is The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. Sorry if this like blinds anyone, because it is really shiny. It is really metallic. Like, I thought that this was just gonna be like low-key metallic, but this is like super shiny. Oh my goodness. And what I heard about this book is that it is pitched as Six of Crows meets Les Miserables. Really excited to read that and see if I love it, because I've heard really good things, but I've also heard mixed things as of recently from booktubers that I do trust. So I thought I'd just form my own opinion when it comes to this book. The next book I have to hold today is The Storm Crow by Caitlin Josephson. I enjoyed this book and I didn't love it only because of one aspect, but I don't know if that's going to be rectified in the sequel. I hope it is. That's all I'm really going to say about this. I got scared at this cover at first because if you guys don't know, I'm terrified of crows. When I was reading this, like, I was cringing a tiny bit only because crows terrify me. I was relieved to know that the crows don't really play too much of a part in this story compared to what they are going to play in the next book, from what I do know. If you were expecting heaps of crows in this book, you might be a little bit disappointed. There's a lot more political intrigue than that. That being said, I enjoyed the political intrigue in here. I did enjoy the book, and I have the Crow Rider pre-ordered. I mean, it's already out, but like, I'm waiting for it to come into my country. Oh my goodness, before I put this book down, this is what it looks like under the dust jacket. It is beautiful. And the next two books I have to haul are a spin-off series. I've been recommended this series a few times by people, and they say that it's different from the series that it spins off from. So if I don't happen to enjoy the series that it spins off from, it's fine. It's an individual series. The spin-off duology of like the Remnant Chronicles consists of Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves. These covers are gorgeous, but that wasn't the reason why I purchased them. I was very skeptical about purchasing these books for a very long time because I don't know whether I'm going to enjoy the Remnant Chronicles. From what I hear, from what I'm being told, everyone keeps on telling me it's very underrated and it doesn't get the hype that it deserves. And so I just decided to purchase these books while I could, and if I want more of the Remnant Chronicles universe after I decide to binge read it, this will be something that I can go to. And speaking of duologies, I have to include a book in this haul that Camillo purchased for me, the second book in the Six of Crows duology in stunning collector's edition, and this one has black sprayed edges. And Camillo, as of recently, has expressed his interest in the Six of Crows duology. There's so many books that he does want to get to that I have recommended to him. At the moment, he's currently reading Norwegian Wood, and we'll see where he goes with that one. When we were at Kinokuniya like around a month ago, and he purchased this, like, he saw it and he just thought it was beautiful. He didn't know whether I had the series or not. I informed him that I did. In fact, I had the first book in the collector's edition, but I never bought the second collector's edition because as soon as Crooked Kingdom came out in the collector's edition, I just didn't bother. And it was just very sweet of him. I just feel so happy and loved. Next book I have to mention is a book that finally came to me from the US after me ordering it back in April. Yes, I ordered this book in April and it came to me in August. The Bang Chronicles by Sandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. This gives me hope one day I'm gonna get my Chosen Ones copy or my hardbacks of the rest of the Cassandra Clare books, because I ordered a hardback box set of Cassandra Clare's Mortal Instruments series. Still hasn't come. They even shipped out a replacement, and the replacement hasn't even come yet. I'm holding out hope that they're gonna come eventually. They're stuck at the border at the moment, but this book got held at the border for so long, and this was one that made it out. If this could make it out, maybe the others could too. And the next book I have to haul is the Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This is the sequel to The Poppy War, which is a book that I've wanted to read for a while, and The Burning God is coming out at the end of this year as well. I have not yet read the series, and I know that I'm gonna get hammered for it as soon as I admit it, but I have not yet, and I am looking forward to it, so trust me, I plan to. And the next book I have to mention is Havenfall by Sarah Holland. I still haven't read the Everlist duology by Sarah Holland. We'll see how we go with that one. I've heard mixed reviews about that one, and I've heard good and neutral reviews about this series as well, but the series seems to be a little bit more intriguing to me, and I purchased it in hardback because why not? And also, I had no idea that when I was purchasing it in hardback that I would be purchasing this beautiful under the cover book. So yeah, the packaging has everything right with it. I'm just hoping that this book has everything right with it too, you know? And one of the final books that I have to mention for this haul today will be the hardback of Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Everybody is currently reading Mexican Gothic by her, which just came out. For some reason, this was the book I've wanted to read for some time. It intrigued me, and everybody I think was reading it, I don't know, last year or the year before. I didn't hear about it till this year. I literally saw it on book shopping sites only this year. I'm like, oh my goodness, that looks so pretty. And the hardback was like out of print everywhere, and they were charging like $70 to $80 to even $100 for the hardback. And then all of a sudden, during my work lunch break one day, I went to Abby's bookstore in Sydney near the Queen Victoria building. I took the tram down just to, you know, have a little bit of a browse. Then I went to the upstairs Galaxy bookstore. There was a bargain book section, and this hardback was in the bargain book section. I literally have the receipt here. The book's recommended retail price is $50.95, and according to the receipt, I got it for $20.95. I got this book for $30 off. This book is currently a very expensive and valuable hardback. That blows my mind. Now we come to the final two books of the haul by the same author, and those books are The Night Circus UK edition by Erin Morgenstern in hardback. I'm pretty sure this is a limited edition. I looked up the ISBN ISBN online. Some book retailers are not selling this edition at all. Crazy stuff. And then I purchased my local bookstore's final copy of The Starless Sea in the UK hardback edition with these pages. And from what I know is that a lot of the online retailers that I do purchase from stopped selling this copy because it went out of print. I do talk about the story on my vlog, but I always saw this copy of The Starless Sea in the wrong section in the bookstore, and I don't know if it was because someone was trying to hide it or not, but someone hid it in the young adult section under the wrong alphabet letter. And I thought to myself, okay, maybe someone's just hiding it to purchase it later. And then I had another thought. I decided that if this book was going to be there 4 weeks in a row, that I needed on the 4th week to consider to actually buy the copy for myself. I don't know if I'm gonna like The Starless Sea or not, to be honest, but I did read The Night Circus as of recently, and I did enjoy it. And I just decided I needed to take a chance. I talked to Camilo about this yesterday, and he agreed. He said I should purchase it. It is beautiful, and I'd be missing out if I didn't. Then he also convinced me to purchase The Night Circus as well in this edition because I wasn't seeing it in any online retailers, and there were only a few more copies of this edition on the shelf. He told me not to take any chances. I blame him for it. That was my book haul. If you happen to enjoy this video today, book lovers, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already joined the amazing community of book lovers. And if you want to, you can follow me on my social medias. I'm at gswizzelbooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/gswizzle. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.